Good morning. Today is the 11th of March 2025 and I'm going to go through today's levels I'm watching. Apologies for the delay and obviously the hour delay yesterday. I didn't realise US clocks went forward and at the weekend, because here in the UK the clocks don't go forward to the end of the month. So I was having my lunch and just taking my time, not realising the market had already been opened. But I made a note today to just start an hour early. Also had a few issues with OBS, which I use for streaming these streams. I have two live streams running, the OBS stream, which looks like that, and obviously I have this stream. And the latest version, they've updated everything and it's blocking the second stream from running. It just keeps crashing. So I just had to spend a bit of time reverting back to the original stream. Decent day yesterday. I took the break and I took actually the breakdown of the 15-minute opening range, and we just sold off all day, so that was a great play. Got 3R out of it, but it went to about 5 or 6R in the end. Today's levels, let me just get my pen open. So we're currently looking at the daily time frame, and we can see we've got a lot of volume coming in, so there's a lot of fear in the market right now. There's big selling off. We've broken down through this 200 moving average, which is a key level, or a key moving average should I say. And yesterday we talked about watching this area for a bounce, and look at that, we came exactly into that area. You may wonder why I've not got that entire bottom tail candle selected, and it's all down to the 15-minute, and look where we came into. We literally came in and touched the bottom of that zone, and that was all down to the 15-minute demand zone, which I drew in. I think I did it live actually in one of the videos. If we can find it, it goes back some time, back to the hour, and then I'm just going to drop down to the 15. I don't think I can go back to the 15-minute on this actual chart for some reason. But basically I'm looking for a 15-minute supply and demand zone. I use the hourly levels to find the hourly. Here we go. And so what I'm looking for is, maybe I used a bigger zone on this one. Is that right? Yeah, okay, so what I'm looking for is bottom tail where we had a little bit of a pullback, so I'm using the top of that region, and I'm looking for a combination of bottom tail candles and where the bodies of the candles will interact with each other, kind of create a level. And it's a big zone I had drawn out, and we came right into it and we bounced there. It was in the post market last night, but we did bounce there yesterday 2 o'clock, so could have found an entry in that location. No, not really. It's hard trying to play these V1s when we come in and just a bounce. What you're looking for is come in, put in a double bottom. A bit like over here, we came in, put in a bottom, came back out, put in a double bottom, and then as we broke that pivot, you could have used that little candle there as the breakout. But let's just go through some levels for today. Back to the hourly, because that's what I prefer to use to find levels. You know, we've been selling off quite a lot. We are quite extended away from the 200 now, and also from the 50, so we can expect a little bit of a drawback into these regions. I do quite like yesterday's high as a rejection level, purely because we've got this area which was originally an area of demand, which we broke straight through. So let's keep an eye on, get back to, on this 60, 56, 90 area for rejection. I do quite like that area. If we get back down into this yesterday's low area, I'll be watching this area for a bounce, specifically between the bottom tails and the 55.71. If we can fine tune that area, let's get rid of that and let's put in a new zone. I do quite like that area there, and what I'm looking for is an area where it goes in one direction, then we see a big reaction in the opposite direction. Although bearing in mind the volume here is not great, we're really looking for regular hour volume, so let's just change that. I'm going to mark it up on the previous market hours. Not even now, I don't like that at all. You know what, I'm going to stick with the original level because it covers it all. So this area is an area to watch for a bounce, but preferably yesterday's low area at 55.71. If we break out over pre-market high, then we'll be continuing this mini hourly 15-minute uptrend. Let's go back to the hourly again. And let's draw our trend line in. You can see we're in a very deep hourly downtrend, if you take that into account there. If you're going to trend continuation, we can watch for the break and retest of pre-market low into this region. If we lose yesterday's low, we can watch for the break and retest, or hopefully we've got the pullback from the pre-market low. Notice that we've not seen any big volume spikes. It doesn't show any signs of ending volume. This is just starting off volume, part of the downtrend. We are not quite oversold yet as well, so I think trend continuation will be the plays I'm looking for today. So I'm going to be watching for the break and retest of pre-market low into this region. I'm watching this region for a potential bounce. If we don't bounce, we break through, come back and retest. I'll be looking for the break and retest of the 55.50 area, and I'll be looking for the rejection up here at yesterday's high, 50, around about 5700, 56.89 or 56.90 area, and that's pretty much it. One of the trades I took yesterday was the opening range, 15 minutes. So I will keep an eye on the 15-minute opening range, and then just see whether I can find an entry. Assuming it's going to be like that, I'll be looking for the break and retest of pre-market low, pre-market high, and the opening range, which I imagine will be in similar areas down here. I've got a really bad headache today, so apologies for the very brief pre-market live and the fact we started a bit late, but I'm just going to quickly go through the other levels, any key areas on watch. So let's keep an eye on this region here for the rejection. So bottom of those pivots, yesterday's high, and then we can watch just yesterday's low for the bounce. Obviously pre-market high and low. SPX levels, let's see what other levels we've got this area confluence, and we've got this region here. Again, I'm just putting in rough areas which can be fine-tuned, look for pivots. That area there. Anything in between, there's a few levels between we can watch as well, that area here. So 55.40 is an area to watch for a potential bounce today, and that's basically using the tops of pivots, bottoms of pivots, just that region. So this region here. So we're kind of close to that area right now. So keep an eye on that. NQ, levels at NQ. We've got this region down here, which is a, let's just mark it up, a region of demand. We can watch that area for a bounce. Otherwise, I'm just looking, the best area for rejection is here, 20,000. Reason for that, 20,000 is a psychological number. It's also the beginning of this big volume shelf as well. So we've got lack, not want to say lack of volume, but lower volume here. You could keep an eye on yesterday's high, 19,790, but we don't have volume coming in until we get up to this 20,000. So potentially a pullback into that area for the rejection. In the meantime, we've got this downtrend, and so we can keep an eye on trend continuation. If we pull back up into pre-market high, maybe not break that trend line, we're going to look for continuation down. QQQ. exactly the same. We have a big, I wouldn't say a big void, we do have a volume shelf about here. It's an area of confluence as well, so let's just mark it up. So we've got tops of pivots, bottoms of pivots, bits and areas of confluence there, so we can keep an eye on 461 for a bounce. One thing to note, we do have this volume shelf. There's a void until we get to that, so where we are now down to here is a bit of a volume void, as you can see, the lack of volume in this region, so we may find ourselves drifting down to that area. Also keep an eye on the fact that we are in this downtrend and we're looking for some sort of trend continuation. If I was looking for a rejection, it's going to be around this yesterday's high area, 484 to 488. It's an area we've got already predefined as well. Look at that bottom pivots there, bottom pivots there. So this zone we can watch 480 down to 488 for the rejection, and obviously watch yesterday's low for the bounce. If we lose yesterday's low and we come back and retest the pre-market high, let's look for the rejection. Oil. Has it found a bottom? Maybe. We put in that low, we couldn't quite put in a new low, but we've not put in a new high yet, so we're still in this zone here. We need to break out of this zone. Basically, we want to get above these pivots. We want to break over the 200, something like that. So all I'm watching for is 65 area for the bounce, and maybe the break and retest of pre-market low, and that will be breaking that smaller trend there. Gold. So we've got our trend around this area. I do quite like the break and retest of pre-market high to put in to break out of this trend line. If we lose that area and we break back down, watch for the break and retest of pre-market low into yesterday's lows, a potential bounce area, big area of demand, and then we've got this region down here to 2850 for the bounce as well. RTY, how are we doing for time? We've got 7 minutes. RTY's showing this big downtrend still. Nothing to get too excited. If we lose pre-market low, which we're close to, 2028, look for the break and retest into yesterday's low. If we can break out over pre-market high, maybe take out yesterday's high, come back and retest that area. So around 2050 for a bounce. We've got this zone up here, 2021, bottoms of pivots, tops of pivots, so we can keep an eye on that area for potential rejection. YM. How are we doing YM? Keep an eye on this 42,500 for the rejection area, yesterday's high. We saw a bit of a push up and then a big reaction, so see what happens if we get up there again. Otherwise, break and retest a pre-market high, 42,128. We are going into pivots, but we do have a lack of volume until we get up into that region, so we might see it push up into that region, 42,500. And then Bitcoin, I did add to my Bitcoin yesterday. I added it here, so it's where we are, not too far, about 80,000 I think it was. Are we looking at an inverse head and shoulders pattern? Maybe not. We are in this trend as well, so we want to break out, get above the 50 and the 200, turn things around. Otherwise, we've got this lovely bounce point here where we bounced yesterday, 76,900. Watch out for a double bottom, and you can clearly see this trend as well. We're well away from it, but we can keep an eye on this area here for a rejection, 92 down to 93,000. And I think that's it really. Let's quickly look at order flow for ES. Pretty negative right now. We've got negative price. This is a 2-minute chart, and we've got a positive cumulative delta, so potentially, although cumulative delta has now changed direction, it's going in the same direction, showing that there's more strength to the downside. At this point, it looked like we could potentially see a bit of a reversal. We probably did. but it can put any more follow through. Yeah, nothing really to write home about. We've got a few levels here to watch. 5640. These are in line with each other. So obviously we've had big orders up there before. So someone might be looking to sell again. We get back up to that area. But apart from that, it's looking a little bit mundane really. Nothing really exciting. That's it really. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be a bit more on time and my OBS is working. I've got an old version now, so I don't know why new updates have caused my streaming to stop working. It just didn't like me running 2 live streams at the same time, which is this one and obviously the order flow I run on the other channel. Quickly recap ES and then market opens in a few minutes. So with ES I'm going to be watching for a break and retest of pre-market low, break and retest of pre-market high. I'm going to be watching for a rejection up in this region, 5700, and I'll be looking for a bounce down here, probably at yesterday's low area, down to this 5550, 5547 area for a bounce. I've been back testing ORBs as well, and I've got some good results at ORBs, so I'll also be watching for the 15-minute opening range, trying to find a breakout or break and retest on that range. I'll do a separate video on that once I've got some good results, but I've just been back testing random dates and it seems to be working pretty much okay. I did a break and retest of opening range yesterday. This is my trade here actually. This is the opening range, I think from there to there. And then I was a bit late, I was an hour late, so by the time I came in it was about 10:30, but I would have still taken this. My stop was top of that candle, opening range was broken, and I took my short just there, and I ran it down to about where we are right now, 3R, and it did go on to make 5 or 6R in the end, so it went all the way down. So good trade, and that's it, that's my only trade for yesterday. I'll try and do the same today. Okay, market opens in 2 minutes, trade safe, and I will be back tomorrow at the earlier time here in the UK of 1:30, which is 9:30 AM Eastern time. Okay, thank you for watching.